Alright, welcome back everybody to Final Fantasy XIV. Last time we left off, we took a brief break to do the holiday event, and got two new minions, so that's pretty neat, but we're finally back on the moon, and we're going to talk to Yustola. We're going to end up going back to, I'm assuming Garlemald? We're going to see what's going on back on the planet, I'm assuming. With the Leopards in syaoranvee's capable hands, we needn't worry about the fears here in our absence. Knowing now the faces of their earthly collaborators, there's much to discuss with Alpha and the others. Let's return to the Tower of Babel. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest, and we must be prepared. I guess the gate's way back this way. I mean, I guess it's safe to leave here for now, since, I mean, Daniel's dead, and Xenos is just, like, not even caring about us at the moment, because he wants to find something powerful at the moment, so... Gods, I can scarcely believe we went to the moon and back. But we'll have the time to reflect on that later. Right now we need to head back to Camp Broken Glass and deliver a thoroughly detailed report to Lucia. I'd like very much to know how everyone is getting on here as well. They only just begun to treat the temporary prisoners when we left. I share your curiosity, but warning our allies of the final days is of greater importance. I speak not only of the contingent, of course, but says the state of every nation must know what we have learned. We know not when or where or in the manner of the final days will begin to manifest, and so we must see that everyone is prepared. Agree that we may wish to stress the importance of discretion, lest the public be sent into a panic. Not that anyone in a position of responsibility should need to be told as much, but it bears repeating. Anyway, first things first, to Camp Broken Glass. Assumably we could just teleport right back there, so may as well do that. Where is the... Ah, here we go. At this point, I'm assuming they're sending us back to there or Labyrinthos at this point, I'm assuming. Of course, we still have half a zone each in those to encounter, so... It's good to see you all again. No worse for your lunar adventure, I hope. We've done what we can for now, and believe me, we intend to tell you all about it. Before we do, might you tell us what became of Garlemald in our absence? We succeeded in subduing the temper inside the Tower of Babel. We took many alive, but combined with those who were already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. The inclement conditions here have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here, so we petitioned the aid of the allied nations. Some are understandably hesitant to proffer assistance, particularly those that were but recently subject to imperial occupation. That said, several others have agreed to grant them refuge for treatment. While the assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavor to see them safely transported and subsequently cured of their tempering. Will all the tempered be relocated? Not all, no. We have sufficient shelter to tend to those whose treatment has begun. Enough healers have volunteered to remain until their patients have recovered. Julius is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle he and those in his company were not harmed in the chaos. If not for Alpha and Alize's timely assistance, I dare say none of them would be with us today. In light of recent developments, have the Alliance leaders come to any decisions regarding Garlemald? Given the tremendous ramifications of what has happened here, it will take time to determine what must be done. In the meantime, they intend to work with the Eastern Alliance to keep a close watch over the provinces. We have other news to share. Shortly after Animal was defeated, we received reports that each and every tower has vanished. For Mercy, the process was apparently not quite as violent as that you experienced in Thavnair. Those who were trapped within them have been rescued and are receiving treatment. To hasten their endeavor, the beast tribes to receive instruction in the magics needed to cure tempering. Master Matoya is no doubt thrilled that Mother Porksy affords her so many visitors. Yes, we are grateful for her ongoing efforts, as well as those of our comrades near and far. As for the contingent, several of our members have been granted leave to return to the homelands after the transfer of temper has been completed. Lucy and I will remain along with a small force to continue offering aid to those here in Garlemald. The Empire may be no more, but there are those yet who will call these lands home. I believe that accounts for recent events here, so what of the moon and the Telephori? The final days. Gods, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. There is still much we do not know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. We should be willing to contact them in our stead. Yes, of course, I'll send word forthwith. We'll also release your felon Scions from their present duties, that they may return to Charlian. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. Speaking of fellow Scions, you'll be happy to hear that Mistress Kryl, though still in the men, has been moved to Baldessian Annex and given into Taru's care. Thank you, I look forward to seeing them both upon our return. Let's be on our way then. One last thing, if I may. After your confrontation with the Zodiarch, he said Xenos took his leave, and all in likelihood he has returned here to Garlemald. I have reminded to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is a merit in doing so. An admirable but futile endeavor. Mayhap you're right. I suppose if anyone is to hunt him down, it must be you. Who else could even hope to bring that low, that monster? Pray forget I entertained the motion. On the subject of Xenos, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They announced the Crown Prince and condemn his role in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become a source of shame among his former subjects, and its continued use serves only to hinder relations with sworn nations. For this reason, he has been declared as Xenos Valator Galvus, outcast and enemy of Garlemald. Then Daniel is no more, and now his people turn against him. Seems he's not but his bloodlust to keep him company. Better that than an army I see it sated. At any rate, I will not keep you longer. I pray your safe passage back to Charlian. Alright, back to Charlian we go then. Welcome back, Darn. We were so terribly worried about you. Though it's plain I've caused my own fair share of worry, and for that I apologize. Heidelin called to me that day, and when you entered the Tower Babel, you were pleased or faint but desperate, and I knew at once she required a vessel to carry out at will. What came after feels like a dream barely remembered. My body flowing through the life stream toward Garlemald. When I regained consciousness, I was ill aches and frostbite, exhausted of either. So exhausted, in fact, I could only laugh, for it was at that moment I understood Raha's weariness from the Tower of Zot. Would that I could laugh at a time like this, though we prevented Zodiac from being unleashed upon the world. I'm curious to know what else took place there on the moon. Yeah, perhaps we should wait for the others to join us before you give your account. Let us reconvene in the main hall, once they've arrived. Alright, we'll go back to hang out in the main hall. Why not? So I keep you all waiting. Oh, we understand you've been quite busy. Will syaoranvee joining us? Duty keeps him away, I'm afraid, though Narn can explain why better than I. The final days as befell Amarat. And we are to escape via the moon, one of the source and its reflections. I have no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin. So how do we stop this? Unfortunately, we have no answers at present. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as well as the case in the time of Amarat, the solution would be to alter the flow of ether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning Zodiac, sacrificing half the star's population in their doing. But it should go without saying that such a sacrifice cannot be repeated. Which leaves us with the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final days, a feat which even the Amartines could not accomplish. Unfortunately, we found no clues in Mare Lemtorium. There is still much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what may have caused it. The final days were marked by the corruption of the Amartines' creation magics, but we can command no such power. Which invites the questions, what havoc is in store for us? If we knew that much, perhaps we could draw some parallel with the events of the past, and therefore form some semblance of a plan. Perhaps we should start with the Forum, then. Having worked with the Leperots in secret all this time, there's surely more they can tell us. Forgive the interruption, but I have urgent news. The Forum is holding a public assembly in the plaza outside, some sort of announcement. What is Father up to now? There's only one way to find out. I'm assuming the alarm they were talking about before must have come from the moon, so they're probably announcing a big move or something, I imagine.
Order! Order, I say! I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice. This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Charlian, nay, of this very star. Said affairs concern all citizens. So we have called for a public assembly. You may have heard rumors of the Telophoroi and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether. for we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld. The End-Bearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties. But first...
Give voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
Master Le Veilleur, if you would.
Very well. "270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea. This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself. She spoke to them of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children and deliver them from this doom. Much like Nunkref's hope in ages past, it will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
Needless to say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge, not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago. Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the great exodus. For his impressive contributions, and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Le Veilleur to oversee this initiative.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen, we face a threat of unprecedented scale. We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Sharlayan has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home? That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work. If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit. Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave.
Take your time.
Thank you. I shan't be long.
If it's all the same to you, I have a few choice words to share with Father as well.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so. Urianger is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Sharlayan, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome, nor charted on any map. The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence. This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done. That we can still do. We're not children in need of protection. Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way. And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
Bold words call for bold action. And there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested. Wouldn't you agree? Having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
Shall we then? To the Annex, to prepare for tomorrow.
Well, it is interesting that the moment we realized what's going on, they immediately announced it to everybody at the... at a public assembly. I kind of thought they would cover it a bit and, like, not telling them outright it was the final days, but I guess, they just went out with it. Bro tells me the forum made a rather momentous announcement, so there's going to be a great exodus, is there? I'm reminded of my narrow escape from the Isle of Val, the realization of the running, the mixture of relief and regret after. Why me, I ask myself, why me? Why us? Why now? Why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality or lack thereof. We're here. We'll get through this together, and who knows, maybe my luck will run off and grant everyone a narrow escape. There's no harm in praying for as much. Oh, but if I'm rambling, I'm sure you're exhausted, your chamber awaits. We get a head coffer, nice. Wonder if we'll get a visitor. Visitors come knocking at your door, whoever could it be. Who do we want to talk to? Stinian?
You're alone. Good. The twins thought now would be a wonderful time to pay a visit to my chambers. Rather than listen to them bicker over tonight's snacks and tomorrow's plans, I seized the first opportunity to make my escape. To their credit, they decided against intruding on your peace and quiet. Can all be a bit exhausting at times, can't it? I wasn't sure what to make of you at first. During the Dragon Song War, how quick you were to take up a cause not your own. But I came to see that is simply the way of you and yours. I will not pretend to understand this talk of ancient primals and the final days, but I trust in your judgment and choose to believe in your cause. You and Alphino have my lance, now and always. You'll need it. Rack and ruin looming on the horizon. Calamity bearing down upon us. There's no place I'd rather be than here. Standing shoulder to shoulder with friends on the front line. So do not hesitate to send me against your enemies. I'll make them rue the day they met me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I could do with a little air. If Alphino asks, I was never here. Until the morrow.
Thanks for dropping by, Stinian.
Thank the gods that tower is gone. The sight of it was enough to make me sick.
Thank the Ilsabar contingent, more like. Word is, they fought their way into Garlemald and toppled the bloody thing themselves. Not just the one, neither. All the towers have up and vanished.
Aye, I heard the same. Commander Aldin and his troops helped keep casualties to a minimum, too. But is it true they brought back tempered Garlean soldiers?
As Commander Aldin tells it, they've a treatment for that now. But don't you worry. Cured or not, they've no plans to bring them into the city proper.
I see. Well, that's a relief then. I know we've brothers and sisters among the lot, but I can't say I'm eager to welcome them home.
Wanted to think about it for a while yet. But to be looked after in Alagana for the time being.
That's probably trouble.
Another day, another commission of paramount importance. Well, what have we here? Hey, are you all right? Was that? No. The shadows play tricks, nothing more. The towers are gone, and the Garlean threat is abated. Yet, why does it feel as though it's about to get much, much worse?
It would stop it. It would start Thavnar, wouldn't it? There we go. Let's go and get our coffer out, I guess. It looks like I'm wearing like glasses or goggles now, huh? That's interesting. Skies Aflame, we're at level 85 quest now, alright. Oh darn, I was just about to call you for you. I'm afraid we receive another call of assistance. This one comes from Radzahan. The others have assembled in the main hall to discuss the situation. You must join them at once. Ah, there you are. Our worst fears have come to pass, but moments ago we received grim tidings from our contact in Radzahan. Vol beasts have appeared as if from nowhere, claiming one victim after the next. What's more, they say the very sky burns above them. Good God, so the final day is already upon us. It would appear so. Sadly, that is all of the information we have at present. No doubt the people at Radzahan are busy fighting for their lives. Well, we must go at once. They need our help. Agreed. Quietly, you best remain here at Tatario and gather what knowledge you can. You are in no condition for a long journey, I imagine. Very well. Similar phenomena have been observed elsewhere, and if it's so, we must know about it at once. Be safe out there, yes? Let's make first for Udamad. We must prepare ourselves for what may lie ahead. Time to head to Davnir, I guess.
And lo, vile beasts did rise. Leaving naught in their wake but blood and ash. The sun scorches earth and boils seas. And our sins ascend unto the heavens. Three dooms to unmake all we were.
The sky burns. The final days are truly upon us.
My friends, I trust you have heard the news.
We have. What can you tell us of the situation, Your Excellency?
Last night, the Isle was rocked by tremors, and the earth itself cried out. Aloft, the heavens began to burn. From all about, unholy beasts, the likes of which we had never seen, came forth in fury and rage. No. To say they came forth would be inexact. The people of Radzat-Han themselves transformed into these baleful fiends. Though the phenomenon was observed throughout our lands, the first creature, the largest and most dreadful of the lot, wrought havoc upon us here in our fair city. Though they bear superficial resemblance to divinities of legend, they are ungodly abominations. The people decry them as blasphemies. The Large One's rampage has since taken it to the northern reaches of the island. I mean to dispatch our radiant host in an attempt to quell the threat.
And what of Vritra?
Vritra too makes for the north of his own accord, and yet he knows the blasphemy and its minions were but yesterday his beloved people. I pray his boundless compassion and mercy does not deter him from taking unenviable but necessary action.
Understood. I ask that you allow us to aid you in quelling this threat.
You would risk your lives to help us yet again? I have no words to express my gratitude. Our regiments approach the north from several directions, with a number of units set to depart from the docks of Yedlinod. They will make landfall in an area of dense jungle, where one can expect to encounter dangers even beyond the fell beasts we hunt. I leave you to your preparation. You will find me at the docks when you are ready to depart.
We're as prepared as we'll ever be. Let's go.
Finally here, the final days. Curiously enough, it starts right at the middle point of the expansion. Huh. As it stands, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, since it seems like a good stopping point. And I guess we'll go ahead and go through the northern I'm assuming it's the northern area, I guess, of Thavnair. Okay, I think the dungeon's actually right here, so let me go ahead and check. Everyone has assembled, yes? I thank you for lending your aid in their battle against the blasphemy. Let's review our plan of attack. I would have you board this boat and circle around to the north side of the island. There you'll find a dense jungle we call Venespade. It is a sacred wood, home to many temples and a number of villages. Vetra and the Radiant Host have gone there ahead of us. I ask that you join them and do all in your power to destroy this blasphemy. Yep, it was. Okay. Alright, and so in the next video we will be doing this dungeon, I'm assuming. Yeah, it's a dungeon because we have trust here. So yeah.